13.5, 12.5, 2.12.5. Can you have two decimals? All right. Why not? That'd be cool. All right. So this is, I think this is just number one in your exercises. Again, something on the desk. Keaton and Andrew and I guess Lucy. Open your folder. Pressure sheets over there. Braden, I gotta say that single loose leaf all by its lonesome, it looks real inconsequential. It looks real ephemeral. Like any second, it's just gonna wind up crumpled up at the bottom of your book sack or in a trash can, you know. But if you know that you can hold on to that single loose piece of loose leaf, then do you, because that's just impressive. All right, guys, we got to move my talking thing that says that I'm talking. It's always in the way. And let's move this too while we're at it. I'm smelling some snacks in here. That's fine because I got lunch right after this class, so we're all getting snacks. Magnum partum ilarum erbium post multos annos vi et concilio capiebat. Let us real quick go back and look at what we're doing this chapter. Vocab words. They're not really that bad, none of them. But technically, a lot of them slot into this new thing we have called the third declension I stem. Don't worry about that term. They're just like irregular third declension nouns. And they're only irregular in like a couple of their forms. But we have animal. It's a Latin word, it turns out. Aqua for water, ars for art, ours for ears. One I want to point out specifically that we're about to see is this crazy one. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, vis. Wow, we got a lot of nouns in the chapter. Vis. Means force, power, or violence. And if we go back to, I could have swore it probably is somewhere forward in the PowerPoint, but I'm going back to it. But yeah, it's really irregular. There is no genitive for some reason. There is no dative. That it looks accusative there, but it's weird that it's like I-M instead of E-M. And then the ablative is what you think it would be. The plurals are actually normal, but it means strength or power. We're going to see herbs a lot today for some reason. Y'all can adjust the thermostat, by the way. I'm not sure if it's cool or hot. And we're going to see a lot of ablative types today. But anyway, what else about the vocab should we talk about before getting into all of this? Turba, upper, I don't think we'll see that today. Pars, we're going to see that a lot. Mores, maybe. Mare is ski, that's a little irregular. And we got a lot of verbs. Veto, to avoid. Curro, we're going to see curro a lot. It means to run. Trans means a cross. I don't think we'll see trans. Trans? Okay, so what's the subject here? And this is nasty. You know what? How about no? Let's go left to right. Magnum and partum. They look like they might go together. Alyssa, if you had to guess, having really just gotten into third declension, which pars partus is third declension, you just got into that a couple weeks ago, so it's a little tricky maybe, but magnum and partum do go together. They kind of look like it. What case do you think they might be? Huh? Yeah, good. Accusative, yeah. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I have this one. I don't know if this is a better spot for it or no. Yeah, so that's just first declension accusative ending with a third declension accusative ending on the actual noun. Like partum's a noun, magnum's a buddy. So that's probably the what, Alyssa. If you had to guess, it's the what kind of object? Yeah, so it's one of those sentences that's starting with the direct object, super typical. Ilarum erbium. Sadie, this is probably harder than the question Alyssa just had. What case do you think ilarum erbium, if I'm telling you that they're both the same case, what case would that be? So ilarum, maybe you would be able to know, but erbium is pretty hard. Yes? Not ablative, it's a decent guess. Addie or Cammy? Yeah, they're actually genitive. So I do have the chart up here, but I know this is really grainy. So if you remember illa, which is like that or those, in the plural, all the endings are straight out of first declension and second declension. None of them are like weird at all. Some of the genitives and the datives are weird, basically, but that's like it. But yeah, that is just like a normal first declension genitive plural. So it's like a great part, right? The first two words are a great part of, and not just that, because these are plural, but like those herbs. Urbis means what? Anyone out loud? Cities. And so this is one of our I stem third declension. We're like, oh, look, it gets an IUM in its third declension genitive plural. Big whoop, who cares? Like, I could live the rest of my life without thinking that it's different at all from normal third declensions. It's not. It is also genitive. So a great part of those cities, post multos annos, we still don't have a subject, but it's fine. We're just trucking along. Who can just give me post multos annos? Elena or Chloe or Sarah? What do you think post multos annos is? Annos is somewhat new. You know, Chloe? What's that? Yeah, after many years. And then, oh, so this is where I was going to show you guys. Yeah, this is a weird word coming up. We're going to look at it in its ablative right now. It's this word that means like power or strength, and we're seeing it its ablative. So I just want to brace you for that. And at concilio, that must also be ablative. But we still don't have a subject, or yeah. So like, I kind of gave it away for a second, but if we don't have any nominative, which looks like we don't have any nominative, if we would check V against its weird irregular chart, which is like on the first page of this chapter, it is ablative. There's no nominative here, but our verb is third person. So what can we use as a subject, Braden or Keaton? We can pick, right? We can choose because we don't have a nominative subject, but our verb is third person, so we can use blank, blank, or blank. I, you, it, we, y'all, or they. Not multos. Multos is accusative. Going with honest. They're mostly gendered pronouns, right? In English, we gender our singular third person personal pronouns, right? So you can pick between 2 or 3 different things, but you're not quite following me. What subject can we use? Anyone? Yeah, we have to use he, she, it, and that is weird, right? We call this a drop subject. It happens a lot in Latin. Well, maybe not a lot, but it happens in Latin, whereas it never happens in English. And it's like always kind of weird when it happens because we kind of train ourselves in the first chapters to like always like look for a subject. And only when our verb is like first or second person are we trained to be like, oh, well, there is no subject. The subject's like built into the verb ending. The subject can be I, you, or we, or y'all. But third person verbs can also lack like a given subject, and that's when you can bust out he or she or it. And you just get to pick because we have no idea like who it is. So let's say she, and copy A bot was imperfect tense. Everyone should be on the same page about that. She was capturing, and now we can go back up to the thing that Alyssa thought would be our direct object. So she was capturing a great part of those cities after many years. And now what in the gosh dang heck do we do with V at concilio, just these ablatives floating around? And this is something relevant to this chapter, which is something that 2.5 gives needed to review for one time. So it's really good that we're picking up here. What do we do with strength and a plan? Or with force and a plan? Oh, yeah, I skipped away. But how do we get those in there? Just comma, strength, and a plan. Anyone? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because they are an ablative of means, right? This is an ablative of means where all that's happening, I shouldn't say all, because it is like kind of complicated, is that you're like seeing that a noun or nouns in this case are ablative, but you're not seeing any of our ablative preposition buddies around, which at this point in the book, I think your ablative prepositions mostly include de, sine, in, whom, I think y'all just got whom, sub, and that's about it. If you don't see any of those guys around and you have an ablative, it's likely an ablative of means. This is basically the first time in the textbook that they introduce an ablative that doesn't have a preposition. And obviously 2.5 kids know we will get more. Some of them are easier than others. Ablative of time when is really easy. That's just like when it's like a period of time, like in a few days or something. That'll be coming up pretty soon. All right. Any questions about this one? Again, I'm purposely trying to like put a lot of gloss words up here, mostly for 1.5 kids, but really for everyone. We all, including me, need to work on our vocabulary. There's too many words in this language. All right. Okay, yes? Yeah. By the way, guys, I got approval for my tiny 9th grade class to take the National Latin exam in March. And I'm going to force you guys to do that next year as well. But it's fine. It's what?
We don't have to do that, do we?
Only if I / Miss Wilson decide you do. It's just a day. It's not going to be a grade. It's literally just like for fun. And if you do really well on it, you can get like a scholarship. So, you know, it's kind of a way for me to grade myself to see if like I'm teaching well, I guess. I think you guys will take what's called the intermediate exam. That'll be next March, not this March. And that'll be it. Maybe after, maybe that'll be the carrot on a stick that I hold over y'all's heads next year. I'll say like, hey guys, if y'all can make it to March, we'll probably get to the end of the textbook, chapter 40 by then. Take that exam, and then I'll let you have 2 months where we play Among Us every day, and or just don't have class. I don't know. If I finished the textbook and had y'all do it decently on the NLE, then I like would be done, honestly. Unless enough of you are passionate enough about continuing with authentic Latin authors such as Virgil, in which case I would have to purchase readers for everyone. All right, so before Kaiser here is their declension Kaiser Kaisaris. These first few words are crazy. Now, for 2.5 kids, some of these you might like remember. Like all of a sudden you might be like, oh, I remember the sentence. Like we totally kind of did this during quarantine last spring because I was actually really good at. Well, this would have been right before quarantine maybe. But anyway, ante means before. What case is Kaisaris? Anyone out loud? His dictionary entry is right here, but it gets their declension. Anyone? What would Kaisaris be? If it's from Kaiser Kaisaris. Yeah, genitive. Parker knows that too. So that's genitive. That's weird to me because ante takes an ablative object. So it's like we have a genitive coming before whatever the eventual object of ante will be. I see ipsius. It looks like ipsius is what case? Anyone? Think of we kind of just, did we talk about this? Or I talked about this in another class. This IUS. What does this IUS ending mean to us? Anyone? Do I have it anywhere? It's the same IUS we see in illa genitive. So it's a genitive kind of thing. For some reason, illa and hic, this and or that and this. The 8 adjectives we get in chapter 9, like solus and unus and alius, like other and totus is entire and unus is one. For some reason, they too get this IUS in the genitive, and also this intensive pronoun, which just means himself. In this case, it just means himself because it's next to a he. It also gets IUS for the genitive. I don't know why all these like different pronouns and irregular adjectives get IUS for the genitive, but they do. Don't look at it like it's a US ending, it's an IUS ending. And that should be like loud and clear to us, genitive. So that is also genitive to go with Kaiser. And then still, what is the object of ante? We still don't have it until, oh, there it is, oculos. Okay. So it's before the eyes of Caesar himself. This is just kind of tortured word order in terms of what we expect. We expect ante to be right next to its object. I think I misspoke a second ago. Ante takes an accusative object here, like post and in sometimes, and propter. So before the eyes of Caesar himself, who wants, okay, now this is important. This is really important. Adrian, person and number of Cucurimus. Let's come back to transvion. What is person number of Cucurimus? Cucurimus. Good. So the subject is not they. Yeah, we. They would be third plural, like an NT ending. So the subject's we. But now what? Here's the actual word itself. It means to run. Kuro, kurura, kukuri. How about Andrew? What tense do you think it is? It's from kuro, kurura, kukuri. And because I have elevated you guys into the future, and now you have had chapter 12, y'all have all 6 tenses. So y'all have the perfect, the pluperfect, and the future perfect as well, which I will like stress a lot and review a lot because I know I introduced it to you guys in a matter of like 10 minutes 2 weeks ago, which is just crazy. But what tense is it, Andrew? There's a trick to this. It's easier than you might think. You might be thinking like, I have no idea how to tell. Is that how you feel? Yeah. So, okay, we can rule out it's not present, imperfect, or future. Because all 3 of those first tenses that you learn, They all come from like the first two principal, or they're formed from the first two principal parts of the verb. If it looks like it's coming from the third principal part, which it is, right? Because we get this whole like doubled syllable, the kukuri, and that means it's one of the perfect tenses, right? And what tense is it? Anyone out loud? Luke? Well, it's first person plural, but like what tense? Yeah, this is like perfect. This is like normal perfect. Because unfortunately, there is blue perfect and future perfect, which we translate slightly differently. But this is perfect. And so the reason we know that is because, like, if it was present, let's just go through it real quick. Present would be kura, it would be karimus, would be we run. Imperfect would be kure lamas, we were running. Future would be, because it's a nasty third conjugation, it would be karemus. I hate the third conjugation so much, or the third and fourth conjugation future tense. Those would be present, imperfect, and future. And now this is the perfect. The pluperfect would be kukeramus. And then future perfect, which we don't care about, would be this. But I don't know if any of this made sense. But the main thing is like the fact it's like we can tell it's coming from the third principal part, not the first or the second. That is the big hint. So 1.5 kids, how do you feel about that? Or did that fully go over your head, which is totally reasonable? You don't really get it? Okay. Like, yeah. So to be able to like tell if something's perfect, it's really important that you actually have the dictionary entry. If you don't have the dictionary entry in front of you, it's not going to like, who knows what it could be anything. But if you have it in front of you and you see that it's coming from the third part, meaning like the third form listed in the dictionary entry for that verb, then that means it's one of the perfects. And we'll get the hang of identifying if it's perfect, plu, or future perfect. But they're usually just perfect, and every once in a while you see a plu perfect. Don't worry, you almost never see a future perfect, which we translate as like will have verbed. It just doesn't come up too much. But anyway, so we would just translate that as verb. So we ran, or we have run, whatever, either way. Trans VM, anyone? Trans VM.
Across the way.
Yeah. Or what else could via be, Cammy? Say it again. Oh, you're thinking of, yeah, that weird regular. Yeah, it does look kind of like that. But this is via as in road or way or path. So just we ran or have run across the road before the eyes of Caesar himself. And fugimus is, I think, a new verb, or maybe it's from last chapter. It means to flee. Think of a fugitive who's like running. And we flee. Who means with the Caden. We flee with the.
I can't do that.
Can't do that?
Too advanced.
What is Amikis? But it's like nothing's so advanced for you now, because like we've come full circle.
Excuse me?
Yes?
Can I have Addison for dismissal?
Yes. Yep. So what's an amigo? What does amigo mean, Caden?
Friend.
Yeah. And what case is Amikis here? Anyone out loud? So and we fled with, yeah, but it's an ablative of this chapter. We get means, manner, and accompaniment. Means is one without cum. There is a cum here. Cum will show up with manner and accompaniment. This is obviously accompaniment. Think of company. Ablative accompaniment literally is just a person in the ablative. Yeah. I think fugimus is perfect here, but I'm not going to worry about it. It's one of the nasty perfect stems where it's identical looking to the present stem, except for I think a macron that I didn't include where it's like fugio instead of fugio. Do y'all know about Yu-Gi-Oh? You never know like what animes or like what weird Japanese franchise is designed to take over the West actually stick. Like obviously Pokemon has stuck around since literally 1997, which is insane. But Yu-Gi-Oh, when that came out like in 2000, I want to say 2002, people were like, oh, this is just a copycat off of Pokemon. But no, some people still know about old Yu-Gi-Oh. Any Digimon fans? Huh? Yeah, Digimon? Oh. It probably does every once in a while. Yeah, it was like it came out at the exact same time as Pokemon, And it was less popular, but it was like for cooler nerds. Like everybody knew about Pokemon, but if you knew about Digimon, you were a freak. Oh, okay. Like a fake, like a Pokeball. Digimon were cool. It was like Pokemon plus the Matrix, because like all the Digimon existed in like an internet world that the kids would like travel to that like lived inside of like telephone lines and like the internet. And Digimon would die, and they could talk. And it was like a real show, whereas like the Pokemon cartoon was like fake anime. The Digimon cartoon was like baby's first real anime. Yeah. Okay. Nemo Vitia Sua Videt said Quisque Ella Alterius. 1.5. I am purposely trying to list all the words that I think you guys wouldn't know. So Nemo means no one. And then Vitium, I want you all to recognize as being different than Vita. Okay, Vitium is crime. Vita Vitae first to clinch is life. So no one. What? Oh, and then Sua Sua Suum. I should put that too. Don't freak out about Sua Sua Suum. It's just like this possessive adjective kind of thing. And depending on what the subject is, it'll either be like his own or her own. I should just write his, her, its, their own. That's all Sua Sua Suum means. Its ending will change, but all you really need to know to translate it is like what the subject is, which in this case is Nemo. So no one what? What does Videt mean? I'll go back to Alyssa and kind of sweep across the classroom. Alyssa, what does Video Videory mean to? So like you hear videos, but you also what? You mostly yeah, you mostly see a video. So no one sees what? Vitya Sua. How do we translate Sua specifically? Vitya obviously means crime, but Cammy? But and how is what? Our own is okay. But that would technically be if it was like nos, videmos, nostra Vitya. So not our own, but no one. How do we refer to no one?
Maybe there.
Yeah, there, good. Because we don't know no one's gender. That sounds weird. But since we don't want to say his own or her own, we could say his or her own, I guess, just kind of generalize. But if we say their own, that's like more inclusive, I guess. No one sees their own crime. It's technically crimes. This is from Bitty. Oh my, yeah, Bitty Young. So it's actually accusative plural neuter here. And now I feel like 2.5 kids would remember this one. This one feels distinct. But Quisque means each one, or sometimes it means, what else can Quisque mean? Each one seems kind of awkward here. But each one, and how do we finish this, guys? I don't see another verb, which is a little weird. Illa, what do you think illa is referring back to? Remember, illa is like that or those, depending on if it's singular or plural. And then what case is Alterius is the final piece of the puzzle here. Each one, each person, each thing. I guess each person is fine. So no one sees their own crime, but each person, if we have no verb in the second half of the sentence, what can we kind of like do to reconcile with the fact that there is no second verb? Anyone? Is there like an implied verb? Sometimes in Latin, if there's no verb at all, you apply sum esse to be as like the default verb, like est. We're not going to do that here. We're just going to reuse what? Reuse purpose. Yeah, like we're gonna like pretend like Videt is happening like a second time. So no one sees their own crimes, but each person sees illa alterius. How can we take that? 2.5 kids, this is a real test of whether it was a good call to go back to chapter 14. If you can't take on illa alterius, then this was the correct move. In fact, if you can, then my confidence in this decision will be shaken to its core. What does illa mean, says Keaton? That's a chapter 9 thing. It means that or those. Wait, do you know it? No? Cammy, what do you think? The crimes of others. Yeah, so Illa's gonna be referring back to the crimes, but to be literal, we should translate it as those. So, and this is weird. So I don't want to act like this was like so easy. But again, it's like a vidette is needing to be understood as like occurring a second time. But each person sees those of another. And I should gloss alias and alter. Alias and alter both mean other. Sometimes they mean another. Sometimes they even mean a second. If there's like a list that has been happening in this instance. What is this pirate? Are there gangs out here? What is? No, I don't want to know. But what does crispy mean? Is that like what does that mean? Okay, so it's not just. It means something to the 7th grade. No, that the word crispy means something significant to the 7th graders. They are. They're really weird. They are way weirder than y'all ever were last year. Like,
like they're so spazzy.
yeah, they are. They are. Y'all weren't that spazzy last year.
I know, like
The 6th graders right now are just evil. They're just like mean to each other.
They're kind of like all
And they're
Shepherd
mean to
Branch,
each other.
except not good at school.
Yeah.
Okay.
The 6th and 7th graders are like actually mean to each other. We aren't that mean to each other. We're mean to
We
each
like
other.
Yeah.
tease
But
each
we're not
other.
like mean to each other.
Yeah, we like
They literally would scream at each other, like and choke each other.
That's true. I haven't noticed too much. There is, y'all are good about like. There's like never been like a bully in this grade, which like why would there be? I didn't have bullies at my school either, but they exist. But there are some mean kids in 7th grade. I know who y'all are talking about. I think. And then Keaton, I would make sure Maddie watches who she hangs out with because.
I know. That's not even my decision. She's not even supposed to hang out with them anymore.
Well, who is? They kind of worked that problem out. Alora and them, they kind of chilled out. But for a little while, Killingsworth was like, "Don't let this girl sit next to this girl because she makes her cry." But like she like was choosing to sit next to her. So I'm like, how? Well, it's weird. Sadie, do you know anything about this? Oh yeah, your sister. Yeah.
Yeah, my sister Maddie, she hangs out with her mom. Like basically on the break, she was like normal.
Mhm.
But that's not her. Anyways, like we came back, and after she'd been hanging out with Laura for a whole day, when we were walking home, like she was being so weird and obnoxious,
What?
She owns the place.
Wait.
She owns the place, and she like tries to pick a fight with me, which I am not scared to pick her. You know, if she hits me first, she is probably gonna get. I don't.
Well, does
I
a
accidentally bumped her in the hall, and she was like this, and I was like, oh,
She like squares up to you.
Like,
does Alora need help? Why is she? Why is she? But Alora must be the root. Why is she so toxic? That's weird. Like
Because she hates me.
she.
But I'm older than her, and she's still scares me. Yeah, they all scare me.
She squares up to me. I just square up to her and just look
Like,
down
I
at
have
her.
a demon in her body.
But she's still young enough where
Like, stand over her.
she's still young enough where she could decide to be mellow and like chilled out. But because it's like other girls have had that. Caitlin Moriarty, her dad was like, yeah, like Caitlin changed a lot when she started hanging out with her.
Like it's not like a hunk. It's like Jenna's pretty nice, and Laura's just opposite.
Yeah, Jenna's like so shy, and Laura's just out there like trying to bully.
Who's Jenna?
Jenna.
They're related?
Yeah.
Oh,
You ever see that meme?
yeah, totally different.
Yeah. Like, I took off my shoes because they were hurting my feet, and Laura said, she's like, why you didn't have any shoes on? I said, because they're hurting my feet, and she's like, put them on, that's disgusting. And I'm like, I don't see you. Wow.
That's the worst kind of person. All right, guys, let's reel it back in. But honestly, we need to help Alora. She can't be like the root of all evil in that class. It's like not chill. Keaton, your sister can do something. I don't think Maddie sits next to her anymore. But like, we need to like mobilize Maddie to like help Alora not be a force of darkness. I guess so. Apparently, she like changed. What's her name? Caitlin Moriarty, who y'all don't know, but also Carly's little sister was having issues with her, Riley. And like she was like affecting their lives just by like hanging out with them. And the parents would be like complaining.
And Alora abuses brownies.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not a
No, in 6th grade, she was throwing a brownie at a window.
See, okay, that's bad. That's not good.
And she was talking to her sister Jenna, and she was like, "When we get home, you're gonna get it." And I was like, "Oh,
And Jenna's so sweet.
I know." One day, Laura out of nowhere just came up to me, and she looked at me, and she goes, "Hi there, Alyssa. Can you tell my sister when you get home, her ass is mine?"
Oh my god.
Okay, we're not technically supposed to, but Sadie, and then we should probably get back on Latin. What?
Well, we need to surround all around, like all of them just get rid of it, and then slowly I just, no, not that. But something else, like give her a present and be like with like one of those inspirational stickers that's like smile, like, or like make sure you like love yourself before. Yeah. I just remembered we're technically recording and streaming. Carly, by the way, I'm only talking about Riley in a respectful way. But no, we didn't say anything. No 7th graders listen to this, so this is fine. It's fine.
What if they
No, like even Carly and Bailey probably won't listen to this. Which, by the way, if y'all are, I'm glad you are. But we just talked about 7th graders, and y'all aren't 7th graders, so it's fine. But anyway.
A lot of the teachers think their classes are like the teachers don't think we're annoying. We're not that annoying.
I'm weirdly okay with them, but I think it's because I taught them last year and I got introduced to them before everyone else. My issue is with 9B. I hate 9B. Like, I can't even, and I won't talk about 9B because I don't know. I feel like.
Yeah, all the teachers gossip to like all the other classes. You're like, oh my gosh, the 7th graders are so ridiculous.
I'm the only one who's okay with the 7th graders.
Oh, no one else is.
Yeah. All right. It's what you get when you teach them when they're 6th graders. It's like I don't know. It's a different kind of thing. All right, guys. Okay, sorry, that was really derailing, and I kind of want to just be talking about 7th graders.
Yeah.
But let's do a little more. All right. So, any 1.5 kid plus Caden. Can you tell me the tense of Monowit? Okay, drop off the nay. That just means a question is happening, but this is truly a 1,000 Latin point question for, again, any 1.5 kid or Caden. What tense is Monowit? It comes from moneo, moneri, monui, and it means to warn. Caden, don't give me Parker's answer. What is the tense of Monowit? Notice how there's like a U and an I at the end. Is the U important? Is it not important? What do we think? We're refocusing. Sarah is refocusing. We vented about 7th graders. It's going to get back somehow. Either Sage, Carly, or Bailey are going to rat on us to Laura, and then Laura's going to beat us all up.
How would Sage know who Laura is?
Yeah, probably. But what tense is Monowit? Anyway, Andrew, Ray, Adrian, Kate, Turner. What tense is it? Oh no, y'all were so focused and quiet, and now I riled y'all up, and you're like. So that's the key to getting y'all more enthusiastic is to dish on
Gossip about
like younger sibling type people. Okay, well let's find out at the 2.5 kids. What is the tense of Monowit name? It is perfect. So 1.5 kids. Oh wait, ooh, and I'm translating this wrong. Oh no, I this is right. Okay, Elena, Keith, Sarah, chill out. This is perfect tense. I need y'all to be able to understand why this is perfect tense. If you have the dictionary entry in front of you, which you do in this case, who can explain to me, besides someone who already said that it's perfect tense, why you should be able to look at this and know pretty quickly if you have this in front of you that it is perfect? And this is super important for Sarah and other 1.5 kids. I don't want to single you guys out, but it's true. I need y'all to like learn the perfect tense as we go. Keaton, why should it be easy?
Because of
the N. No. Leave the classroom. Get out right now. No, I'm kidding. No, who can not? The NE just tells us a question's happening. That's something 1.5 kids have known about since like chapter No. Why else do we know this is perfect really quickly?
Because of the I, maybe.
Kind of the I. What letter really makes us know that it's perfect if we're looking at the dictionary? Or the U. It's the U, right, Sarah? Because we see a U here in the third principal part, Elena. Y'all can settle it later, all right? We'll figure out what to do with the seventh grade situation later. What? Yes, but I hope you see this too. That like just the fact that we're seeing the U show up tells us it's not a normal present tense form of moneo moneri, which we've seen plenty of, right? We've had this verb since like chapter 2 or something, maybe 1. But the fact that U is showing up tells us it's perfect. And then you also need to know that if it's a question, which it is, it's really important to know the tense of the verb in your question because that's going to help you actually get the sentence started. In this case, we want to use has because it is perfect tense. Was would be okay, but has is better. Has, and again, we have a drop subject. I'm not saying any nominative. What are you and Elena discussing?
Nothing really.
Are you sure it's not interesting? Like, honest question. Like, what if it's like interesting to all of us?
It's about a boy who texted her. It was a random boy who texted her like 3 weeks ago.
So it's 8th grade stuff. So let's only talk about 7th grade stuff. Okay. So has she drop subject? I'm using she or he because I don't have a nominative in play. All right. So has she? New pair means recently. What does new pair mean, Elena? What does new pair mean? Look, we'll settle the texting situation later. It is very serious, but y'all have all of us say to sort it out. She has recently warned. New pair means recently. It's an adverb. Warned them. And I want y'all to know that EOS and EOS, computer kids and everyone, just know that in a vocabulary way. Don't know it in a way where it's like, I got to pull out the third person personal pronoun chart from chapter 11 and find out EOS and EOS are the accusative plural. No, they just mean them, okay? Just leave it at that. In English, we don't gender plural pronouns, only singular ones. So all the third person personal pronouns on the plural side are just going to be things like they and them, as opposed to like specifically he or him or she or her. Those just mean them, and they're accusative plural. So she recently warned them. Let's see, day. Adrian, do we warn people about or from things? They warn them about the, and then this is the thing that Cammie was thinking of earlier. They warn them about the, not men. It looks like men, but it's third declension clearly. So it's that new crazy word about the, the strength of the power of the force. And alarm. Oh, this we just like had this a second ago. Alarm urbium. And you know what? Okay, good. Something about a city, and it's cities actually. And it's not just like the cities, but Parker or Lucy, it's of those cities. Good, because this is illa. So it's from the word that means that or those. In this case, those because it's plural. The forces of those cities in Asia. Obviously in Asia. Nothing weird about that. All right, let's do 2 more, guys. Let's do 2 more. Maybe 3. Just be glad I'm not forcing you all to read them. Ipsi autem libertatem filium sororem magna cum cura alueron. What are we going to need help with here? Autem means however. Alueron at the end comes from a verb that means to nourish. I want computer kids to be looking at that, wondering what tense it is right now. That would be super cool if computer kids or Caden could tell me what tense it is. What else is weird? Kiwium is from kiwis, which means citizen. We got a lot of words like this at this point. Kiwitas is like state. Kiwis is citizen. And that's it. Herbs is city. Again, sua sua suum is going to be like his, her, or its own, depending on what the subject is. What is the subject, anyone? It is weird. It's a weird subject. Anyone? Good guess, but kiwium there is actually our weird third declension genitive, so it's going to be like something all of the citizens, that orange UM. The subject here is ipsi. This long I, the fact that it's occurring early, should make us think of essentially a nominative plural long I. This is just weird because it's called an intensive pronoun, and usually intensive pronouns are right next to a word that they're intensifying, like Cicero ipse, Cicero himself. But this guy is not next to anything, it's just like there. So we need to add, what do you think we need to add? It's plural. Anyone? And our verb is third plural, so we should use what pronoun? They, and we still need to intensify it though, so it's they themselves. So that is kind of weird. That's the weirdest thing that'll happen with an intensive pronoun is that it won't have a buddy, and you'll have to kind of like add the buddy itself, which in this case is they. Like we're adding that from the fact that we like look at our verb and it's nominative plural, and we're just adding that. But we still need to intensify it, so it's they themselves. We're giving that just for they themselves, however, yeah. Here it means they themselves. It'll mean different things depending on how it's used. Like I was saying, usually it would be next to like another word like Cicero, and it would be something like Cicero himself. But in this case, it's plural, and there's a drop subject, so it's they themselves. And now, alluerant, everybody, glance at this word. Let it burn into your retinas so I can go to the next slide. Look at alluerant. Remember it. Pretend you're on a game show where you have to remember how this word looks. And now I flip to the side. What tense is it, anyone? Perfect, pluperfect, or future perfect? It is pluperfect, yeah. Okay, 2.5 kids are seasoned. They know how to do this. When they see that ERA, they're like, well, it's pluperfect. Pluperfect is actually more consistent than perfect because ERA shows up in all of the endings, whereas the perfect endings are like kind of weird and distinct. And we just translate pluperfect with had. That's the big thing, is if you see ERA at the end of a verb that looks like it's one of the perfects, you just translate it with had. That's it, had verb. So they themselves had nourished, however, what's a direct object, anyone? I promise this is the second to last one. We'll do one more after this, and I'll leave you alone. You guys are so used to short classes because I can't deliver these long 50-minute classes that you guys crave. I know y'all want me to teach to the bell every day. Those men. Oh, I'm saying those men? Nah, let me say they. Because that'd be more like if it was like he. H long I. They themselves, however, had nourished. Keaton, what's a direct object? It's so obvious.
Oh, suorum.
No, actually. Suorum almost looks like it could be part of an accusative kind of thing, but it's actually genitive. Elena? No. Kiwium almost looks like it'd be a direct object. It looks like it'd be a second declension direct object. Remember, ki was his third declension. That's that nasty third declension genitive plural. So those, both the words that y'all said were genitive, Keaton and Elena.
Autumn.
Not autumn. That's a conjunction. Daniel? Yeah, probably libertatum, right? Now, but let's stop on that. Why, I wonder, did Elena and Keaton, y'all were just kind of like glossing too quickly that you didn't look at this, or did you not think this was accusative? Honest question. Didn't really think it was accusative? Glossed over?
Yeah.
Well, you probably looked at these and thought they were accusative for the same reason that you would have thought this was accusative too. Hopefully, that is the third declension accusative ending, right? E-N. Whereas those other two, not suorum, but Kilium has that, and suorum has that second declension. I know you'll probably see anything. But anyway, so it's the state or the liberty. They nourish, what? Why did I translate it as state? SMH. They nourish the liberty, and then who can finish it? Because we already said they're genitive, right? Elena and Keaton get their genitives mixed up with accusatives. Either genitive. What pronoun, Sarah, do we use to translate a genitive? The two-letter? Yeah. So the liberty of, and not just the citizens, but of Parker. Yeah, its own is good. I say their own. Is its own just as good? There's the state of its. Yeah, its own is good too because we're talking about the state. I think. Yeah. So their or its own citizens. Magna cum cura. What the heck is that? Magna cum cura. What does cum mean, Adrian? I just got a message from someone that says, "Hello, Diane. How are you today?"
You should play along with that.
Yeah, I'm doing great. I love that my name is Diane. Yes, Parker?
With great care.
Yeah, with great care. Cum means with, Adrian. It's a newer preposition, but it's going to show up like all the time. And so this is not an ablative of means. It's not one of the mean ablatives that doesn't give us the cum and makes us add it ourselves. It's called the ablative of manner, where the cum is in the Latin, and it just makes our lives a little easier. All right, guys, we got 6 minutes to translate our last sentence for the day. Sarah, go ahead and translate the whole thing. Give it a shot. And what would you, if, what about, cities? There is something about cities. There's cities twice. There's ancient once. There's another word twice. What's another word that shows up twice here? names. Yeah. And then Troxymus is from Traho, Traho, to draw or drag. Braden, and this should be kind of easy. Okay, this is good. I wanted to do this enough times. Now it feels like this could be the enough times required for maybe something that's stuck for computer kids. What tense is Troxymus? What? The bells are off. Or no, okay, I'm thinking of second period. Whoops. This is perfect tense, guys, because it has the X there. The X only shows up in the third form, so it's perfect tense. Okay, bye. Homework due tomorrow, guys. Again, computer kids, we were just joking about the 7th graders we were talking about. That was fake. That was fake. Don't let it get out.
I guess I'm getting better at that.
Well, that's good. Now you really have like an opportunity to do that.